Stop smiling. I made this out of a curtain. Are you ready for some Hanky Panky? Hello and welcome to Costumes and Cocktails. In light of the fact that it's just been Valentine's Day, I wanted to work with a cocktail that sounded a little naughty. And that's why I decided to go with the Hanky Panky. The story goes that this cocktail was invented by Ada Coleman, who started working at the Savoy as a bartender and eventually became the first and only ever known head female bartender at the Savoy. I said that twice. The story goes that the late Charles Hawtrey, one of the best known cocktail judges of the time, had come into the Savoy and said to Ada, "I am bored, make me something with a punch." And Ada went on to experiment for hours and hours and came up with this cocktail. When he tasted it, Charles proclaimed, "By Jove, that's the Hanky Panky." And that's the name that stuck. I came across a quote on the Gin Foundry website that I was a very big fan of, and it went something like, "This is an elegant drink for sophisticated people who will lose their classy behavior once they hit the dregs of this cocktail. And then it's time for dancing on tables." I'm ready. Let's get to making it. Basically, this cocktail is a sweet martini with a bitter twist. And when it comes to a martini, your base alcohol is very important. I decided since it's time for that Hanky Panky, I would bring out my very special guest, the Burroughs Reserve. This is something I've had my eye on for literally years. Burroughs Reserve is actually distilled in James Burroughs' original copper still, number 12, and then rested in red and white oak Bordeaux casks. We're going to be using this gin. We'll need 50 milliliters. I'm just going to sneak in a little, just to take the poison off. And oh my god, oh my lord, that gin is just incredible. It is. This one is like a very second close to me and Bar Hill Tomcat. It is full, it is woody, it is sweet, it is everything you could ever want and more. The next ingredient is some sweet vermouth, and this is going to bring up and recreate that kind of martini style and martini flavor. We'll need 50 milliliters. Then you need some freshly squeezed orange juice. I was fortunate enough to have some blood orange, and I think that suits the V-Day theme perfectly. If you can hear a dog snoring in the background, that is because he is. We'll need 10 milliliters. The final ingredient is an aperitif called Fernet Branca. Unfortunately, last week, well, it's not unfortunate, I drove down with my husband to Virginia in order to do my green card interview, it went really, really well. So, but that means that coming back to Vermont, we've had to quarantine, and I am unfortunately unable to go to the stores to get some Fernet Branca. I did find two suitable substitutions. One was Campari, and if I put Campari in this cocktail, I'll throw it down the toilet. So instead, I've opted for Angostura bitters, and that is what I'll be using. The Fernet Branca is 5 milliliters, but I'm just gonna dash a little until it feels right. That feels good. Shake it all up. I've decided to pour it into this really pretty glass I got at Goodwill, of course. I could think of no better occasion. That color. Ooh, perfect. Huh. Time for the taste. I'm sorry I did this to you. Barbara's Reserve. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm unsure. I'm not the biggest fan of sweet vermouth, really. This is kind of a cocktail that's very particular for particular people. It's not making me feel like I want to go do some hanky panky. Quite the opposite, in fact. But I can't really taste the gin. Yeah, I'm quite surprised at the ratio of gin to vermouth. It's a bit overwhelming, and you don't really get much else. It's a cool looking cocktail, the idea is great, the name is great. Unfortunately, this doesn't make it to my top list, but I'm still gonna finish it. And hopefully I'll come up with a really cute cocktail for next week. Thank you so much for joining me, and cheers. Oh, also no one can have any of my chocolates that I got because they're my Valentine's Day chocolates.